Listen to me carefully, because what I'm about to say will hit you harder than you expect. There is a woman in your life right now who feels more for you than she will ever admit, and you can sense it in your bones. But something is off. She pulls you in, then pushes you away. She looks at you like you matter, then acts like you're just another man. And if you've ever felt that emotional whiplash, don't click away, because what you're feeling isn't confusion. It's a hidden truth she's terrified you'll uncover. Stay with me until the end, because the last thing I'll reveal will change the way you read women forever. And before we dive deep, make sure you subscribe and like the video so you never miss the psychological breakdowns that could save you years of heartbreak. Now, let's talk about the first sign. A woman is secretly in love with you but scared to show it. It's not something loud or dramatic. It's subtle, it's quiet, and most men miss it because they're too distracted by what she says instead of what she can't bring herself to say. When a woman is deeply drawn to you emotionally, but afraid of being hurt, abandoned, or misread, she doesn't tell you directly. She studies you. You become her silent research project. She pays attention to you in ways she pretends not to. You'll notice it in the way she remembers things about you, even you forget. Maybe you mentioned something randomly at 2 a.m. weeks ago. Your favorite childhood snack, the name of your high school coach, the dream you never told anyone because it felt embarrassing. A woman who's scared to show her feelings will hold on to these little pieces of you with a kind of reverence. And when she brings it up later, she will pretend it's nothing. But it's not nothing. It's emotional investment in disguise. Here's something most men never realize. When a woman is afraid of showing her love, she won't trust her voice, so she listens instead. Her ears reveal her heart. Her attention exposes her feelings. She notices your tone, your expressions, the shift in your energy when you're stressed, and she mirrors it without meaning to. She can't hide that. A woman who doesn't care won't remember details, won't replay your words in her mind, won't adjust herself around your emotional rhythm. But a woman who's falling for you, she feels your mood before you announce it. But here's the part that stings. She will overcorrect. She will pretend none of this matters to her. She will shrug off her own emotional reactions. She'll say, "Oh, I just have a good memory," or "I pay attention to everyone." No, she doesn't. She pays attention to you because you matter to her more than she's ready to admit. And deep down, she hopes you don't notice, because noticing means she's vulnerable. When a woman is scared of love, awareness becomes her weakness. That is why she hides it behind casual conversation, sarcasm, jokes, indifference, or silence. But make no mistake, her emotional radar is locked onto you. If you felt that energy from a woman, you're not imagining it. You're picking up on the first hidden doorway into her true feelings. There's a moment every man experiences with a woman who secretly loves him but refuses to show it. It's subtle, almost fleeting, but once you learn to recognize it, you'll never miss it again. It happens when she looks at you. Not the polite, casual look women give everyone. This one is different. This one lingers. This one exposes her more than words ever could. But here's the twist. The second you look back, she looks away. A woman who's afraid of her feelings steals glances, not stares. She watches you when she thinks you're not paying attention. She studies your face like she's trying to learn a language she's terrified to speak. And the moment your eyes lock with hers, she panics. Not because she doesn't want you to notice, but because she desperately does, and that scares her more than anything. She's afraid that if you see the softness in her eyes, you'll see her heart before she's ready to give it. So she hides behind quick looks, playful avoidance, or pretending she was looking at something else. But her eyes always betray her. They'll linger on your smile, your hands, the way you walk, the way you talk to other people. She observes you with a kind of hunger she can't control, because love makes a woman curious. It makes her attentive. It makes her fascinated by even the smallest things about you. And that hidden fascination? It terrifies her, because it reveals just how deeply she's already invested. You'll notice something else too. When a woman is secretly in love with you, her entire body betrays her. Her posture changes when you walk into a room. She straightens up without thinking. Her hair falls to one side because she subconsciously wants to look her best. Her feet point toward you, even when she's pretending she's not paying attention. But the moment you get too close, she freezes. Her breath hitches just a little. She becomes hyper-aware of every movement you make. She may even step back, not because she doesn't want you near her, but because being close to you makes her feel exposed. Understand this. Attraction makes a woman bold, but love makes her nervous. It's easy to flirt when a woman has nothing to lose. But when her heart is involved, everything becomes risky. Every word she says feels like it could reveal too much. Every smile she gives feels like it could be misinterpreted. Every moment around you becomes a battlefield between wanting you and protecting herself. And in that silent tug of war, her fear wins more often than her desire. That's why her affection feels warm one minute and distant the next. That's why she acts like she's unaffected, even though her body language keeps slipping. A woman who's secretly in love will always show you more through her silence than her speech. Her eyes, her posture, her nervousness, they're all telling you the truth she's too afraid to speak. If you've ever caught a woman looking at you and then pretending she wasn't, you're already closer to her heart than she wants to admit.
There's a particular behavior women display when they're in love with a man, but terrified of what that love could cost them. And most men misread it completely. They think she's losing interest, or becoming cold, or pulling away because she doesn't care. But the truth is far more complicated, and far more emotional than you realize. A woman who's scared to show her feelings will create distance. Not because she wants to, but because she's overwhelmed by how deeply she feels. She will pull back from you in ways that feel confusing and inconsistent. One day, she'll open up, laugh with you, share pieces of herself she doesn't share with anyone. And the next day, she becomes quieter, shorter in her replies, harder to read. But don't be fooled. This is not rejection. This is fear masquerading as indifference. See, love makes a woman vulnerable. And vulnerability feels like danger to someone who has been hurt before, betrayed, overlooked, or made to feel like her feelings were a liability. So the moment she realizes her heart is leaning toward you, she instinctively steps backward. It's a self-defense mechanism. The closer she feels to you emotionally, the more she worries about losing control. Her mind begins spinning with what-ifs. What if he doesn't feel the same? What if I'm misreading everything? What if I open up and he pulls away? What if I'm too much? What if I'm not enough? So instead of diving in, she retreats. She gives you shorter answers. She takes longer to reply. She acts busy. She avoids creating moments where she might reveal too much. She may even joke in ways that downplay her interest. Not because she doesn't want you, because wanting you scares her. You'll notice something subtle during these moments of emotional retreat. Even though she pulls back, she never fully disconnects. She won't disappear. She won't cut the connection. She won't stop orbiting your life. She just pulls the emotional curtain closed a little, as if she's giving herself time to breathe. A woman who has no feelings will walk away cleanly. A woman who's secretly in love will walk away, but keep looking back. Her distance isn't the absence of emotion, it's the presence of too much emotion. And pay attention to this. When she distances herself, she's actually watching how you respond. She wants to know if you'll get frustrated, if you'll chase her, if you'll stay consistent, or if you'll give up at the first sign of uncertainty. She's testing, not your patience, but your emotional stability. She wants to see whether you're the kind of man who is safe to love, because deep down, she's terrified of choosing wrong again. Here's the irony. The distance she creates is not meant to push you away. It's meant to protect the parts of her heart she still doesn't trust anyone with. She's trying to slow down her own feelings so she doesn't drown in them. If you've seen a woman pull away right when things were getting emotionally deeper, it wasn't a sign she didn't care. It was a sign she cared more than she expected.
There's a moment when a woman tries to hide her feelings, but her emotions refuse to cooperate. And this moment is so revealing, so raw, that once you recognize it, you'll know exactly where her heart is, even if her words say the opposite. It shows up in her jealousy, the kind she tries to bury under a calm smile, forced jokes, or a quiet shift in her tone. A woman who secretly loves you but is afraid of being exposed will never show obvious jealousy. She won't roll her eyes dramatically or make snarky comments the way a woman with nothing to lose might. No, her jealousy is quiet, controlled, and deeply emotional. It's the kind of jealousy that leaks out in micro-expressions she hopes you don't notice. Watch her when another woman gets too close to you, physically, emotionally, or even just through conversation. Her eyes shift for a split second, Her posture changes ever so slightly. Her smile becomes tighter. Her voice drops a tone. It's subtle, but real. She's fighting two battles at once: the instinct to protect her feelings and the fear of being too obvious. Her jealousy isn't about possession, it's about fear. Fear of being replaced, fear of not being enough, fear that someone else will take the place she secretly wishes she had in your life. And that fear will reveal itself in the smallest details. A woman who has a crush will get a little jealous, but a woman in love, especially one scared to show it, feels jealousy like a quiet ache in her chest. She notices every woman you talk to, not because she wants to control you, but because she's terrified of losing a position she never officially held. This is where it gets psychological. She won't confront you. She won't ask, "Who is she?" Instead, she'll subtly shift her behavior. She may become slightly colder, not angry, just quieter. She may suddenly end the conversation earlier. She may avoid eye contact, or she may overcompensate by acting cheerful when she's actually fighting off the sting of insecurity. And here's the part most men miss. Her jealousy is not triggered by the other woman. It's triggered by her own feelings. She knows she shouldn't care this much. She knows she has no claim on you. She knows her reactions are revealing her attachment. And that realization makes her pull back even more. She's trying to discipline her own heart so it doesn't betray her, but the more she tries to hide it, the more obvious it becomes, if you know what to look for. You'll notice how she asks subtle questions about your day, trying to figure out who you spent time with without directly asking. You'll see how she becomes more attentive afterward, or sometimes more distant. It all depends on whether her fear or her desire is winning that day. A woman who is indifferent won't feel anything at all. A woman who's mildly interested might feel a quick sting. But a woman secretly in love feels jealousy, like a whispered warning to herself. Careful, you're falling too deep. If you've ever seen that quiet moment where she tries to smile but her eyes tell a different story, you've just witnessed her heart slipping out from behind its walls. There's a behavior almost every man overlooks, yet it is one of the strongest signs a woman loves you but is terrified to let those feelings surface. It's not romantic, it's not dramatic, it's not something you'd ever see in a movie. Instead, it shows up in the way she steps into your life during your lowest moments. Not loudly, not publicly, but quietly, consistently, and almost invisibly. A woman who is secretly in love with you becomes emotionally protective, even if she's scared, even if she hides her feelings, even if she pretends she's just a friend, just an acquaintance, just someone who cares a little. Her heart won't let her stay away when you're hurting. Watch how she reacts when you're stressed, disappointed, tired, or discouraged. She won't tell you she loves you. She won't confess her feelings. Instead, she'll do something far more revealing. She'll try to make your life easier in the smallest ways possible. She'll check on you more often than usual. She'll ask questions that go deeper than surface level. She'll listen more closely. She'll offer solutions or comfort even if she doesn't phrase it that way. She'll notice things you haven't said out loud. And every time she does this, she is betraying how much space you take up in her heart. A woman who isn't emotionally invested won't go out of her way to understand your pain. But a woman in love, no matter how afraid she is, feels a natural pull to take care of you. Not in a motherly way, but in a deeply intuitive way. She wants to protect your peace, even when you don't ask her to. And yet, she'll pretend it's nothing. She'll downplay her concern. She'll brush it off with, "Just checking," or "You look tired today," or "I thought you could use someone to talk to." She'll hide behind casual explanations to cover up her instinct to show up for you. But pay attention to what she does not do. She won't disappear when things get hard. She won't withdraw when you're struggling. She won't give you space when you actually need support. She won't say, "That's your problem," like someone who's not emotionally invested might. No. She steps closer emotionally, even if she doesn't step closer physically. Here's the truth most men misunderstand. A woman who's scared to show her feelings won't express love through bold declarations. She expresses love through service, through support, through presence, even when she's afraid of being noticed. And here's the part that reveals everything. When she cares about you, your pain becomes her tension. She feels it. She absorbs the emotional weight without thinking. She might even worry more about you than you worry about yourself. That is not friendship. That is emotional attachment disguised as concern. And the moment you start feeling better, she does too, instantly. Not because her mood is shifting, but because her emotional world is tied to yours in a way she can't admit yet. A woman who's secretly in love shows it not when life is easy, but when you are not. There is one sign more powerful than every glance, every moment of distance, every quiet jealousy, and every act of emotional protection that exposes a woman who loves you but is terrified to show it. And if you learn to recognize this one signal, you will understand her heart in a way she can't even explain to herself. It shows up in the way she becomes herself around you, and then suddenly becomes scared of being herself. A woman who has real feelings, deep, vulnerable, fear-inducing feelings, will open up to you in flashes, not consistently, not predictably, but in those unexpected moments where her guard slips because her heart gets ahead of her mind. She'll let you see sides of her no one else gets access to. The goofy parts, the thoughtful parts, the insecure parts, the childhood stories, the dreams she doesn't say out loud, the fears she hides from the world. With you, she feels safe enough to reveal them for a second. But then, almost immediately, she pulls the walls back up. You'll see it happen in real time. One moment she's laughing freely, the next she straightens her posture, adjusts her tone, and suddenly becomes more controlled. One moment she shares something deeply personal. The next she changes the subject like she didn't mean to say it. One moment she's relaxed and playful. The next she becomes guarded, quieter, almost watchful of her own emotions. Why? Because she realizes she exposed too much of who she really is, and that terrifies her. See, love isn't just about how she feels about you. Love is about how she feels about how you see her. And when a woman loves you, she cares deeply, almost painfully, about how you perceive her. She wants you to see her softness, her intelligence, her depth, but she fears you'll judge her for it. She wants you to see the real her, but she also fears you won't want her once you do. So every time she shows you a vulnerable piece of herself, she becomes self-conscious afterward, as if she let the truth slip out accidentally. This is why she acts different around you compared to other men. More thoughtful, more nervous, more alive, more guarded. She feels like she has more to lose with you. And here is the real psychological key. A woman who is scared to show her love doesn't hide her heart because you're unworthy. She hides it because what she feels for you is too real. Real love makes her hesitate. Real love makes her think. Real love makes her afraid of making the wrong move. So she reveals herself, then retreats. She leans in, then pulls back. She opens up, then closes the door. Not because she doesn't love you, but because she does, and she doesn't know if she's safe. And here's the truth you were meant to hear at the end. A woman who is secretly in love with you always leaves emotional fingerprints, not through grand gestures, but through the moments she tries the hardest to hide. So if you've noticed these signs, the attention she tries to disguise, the glances she pulls away from, the distance she creates when she feels too much, the quiet jealousy, the instinct to protect your emotions, the vulnerability she reveals and then retreats from, you're not imagining things. You're not misreading the situation. You are seeing her heart before she's ready to place it in your hands. If this opened your eyes, make sure you subscribe and like the video, because you deserve to understand the psychology that shapes your relationships, your confidence, and your future.